Welcome back to Across the Terraces. You know who you're with, Brad and Charlie, and we're going to jump straight in with this episode. A little bit different. We've gone through our combined Derby County and Nottingham Forest 11. Now, we had quite a bit of debate on certain players coming in for this one, didn't we, mate?
We did, yeah. This was tough, mate, to be fair.
It was... a few throwback names that we mentioned. And we've tried to keep it as consistent across including both Derby and Forest players in this, and also trying to keep it to players that we've both witnessed play on a consistent basis. I know you could go back to older and older squads where there's obviously some famous players, like for both teams under the Brian Clough era, but it'd be unfair for us to include them when we didn't see them play. So we've gone combined, more probably modern-ish sort of times.
Yeah.
But it's players that we've seen and whatnot. So we'll start off with the manager, if you want to let us know who we've picked, mate.
Yeah. We've gone for Billy Davies as the manager. He was very good for both clubs, to be fair. Took Forest to the playoffs. Same with Derby.
Took us up.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anyone else we could have picked, really. Did well for both clubs.
You can pick faults with him as a person, but on a footballing basis for both teams, we've obviously both got maybe slight bias to separate managers for separate reasons, but we both agreed that because he's done well at both, we thought, chuck him in as the manager. So, yeah, Billy Davies. Start on the goalkeeper. Probably one of the easier ones for us out of the names that we chucked, but we've gone for Samba. I don't think many people can argue from modern times. I think he was very good for Forest.
Yeah. Big
character, big personality. I think you'll agree from watching him. I think, you really rated him as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Look, both clubs have had good goalkeepers, but just from what was achieved by this goalkeeper, I think that's the reason we stuck him in, really.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, easy one.
Move on to the right back. Again, this was a tough one, but we both agreed on Cyrus Christie. Played for both clubs. Steady player, good player. Again, both clubs have had different right backs, but they've not really stuck around. So we sort of wanted to put someone in that had a bit more of a legacy, sort of with both clubs.
Yeah.
And he was the man.
Yeah, it's having that connection, isn't it? I think, like you say, we discussed other names for both clubs over the years that we've been watching them, and there's other players good for other reasons. But yeah, for us, it was that connection of they've played for both, and a pretty consistent player for the most part, So yeah, Cyrus Christie at right back.
Yep.
On to the first of the two centre backs. We went for, and I think it's from a Forest point of view, which obviously Charlie put forward a hell of a lot. Joe Worrell, I think for Forest, you can't argue he was solid, captain, leader, passionate. I know it's not quite worked out since he's left Forest, although he didn't want to leave Forest in the first place.
Yep.
But I think for what he did in the Championship, especially for Forest, taking them up maybe slightly out of his depth a little bit with the Premier League. But no doubt, through the years that he was in the Championship with Forest, was known as one of the top centre-halves in the Championship. And I think that's probably a big thing for us, prime time for us watching Forest Derby, both in the Championship. I don't think many people can argue with Joe Worrell being in there for his passion for his club.
No, I'll second exactly what you said there, mate. Just through what he achieved at Forest, captain, leader. Yeah, he has to be in this team.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll move on to the second centre-back. Again, you can't argue with putting this bloke in the team. Richard Keogh. Yeah, what a defender. I mean, we were saying before, for many years, he must have been the best centre-back in the Championship. No one was better than him. Passion, energy, working the team up. You can't put anyone else in there.
100%. You take out a few. He's obviously had his clangers, the playoff final, QPR, the whole crash incident. There's been a few clangers from him, but yeah, for a good number of seasons, Keogh was arguably one of the best centre-backs in the league, consistent, captain, always playing at the top end of the Championship with Derby. When you're talking of that consistency and the level that he got to, you
can't put anyone else, can you?
He was the first choice that we mentioned of centre-backs when we was running through, a few different names that we thought of, didn't we? And obviously we'll get back. We put a couple on the bench, which we'll get to at the back end of this. But yeah, fair few names that we chucked out, and it's sort of getting that balance of the quality of the player, but also legacy and passion and everything else. And yeah, he was mega, mega passionate. So if we're building our team, I mean, with a combined partnership of him and Joe Worrell, we just thought that sounded, prime Joe Worrell and a prime Richard Keogh sounds pretty good to me. I'd take that all day in the Championship squad.
Yeah, mate. If they were playing together in the Championship today, what a hell of a leadership you've got there.
The command at the back from them two would just be top draw. Two proper centre halves.
I don't think you could concede many, to be honest.
No, they'd be well organised, from telling the fullbacks where they need to be and grabbing the defenders and stuff. You won't be getting away with anything in that squad. So, definitely a solid partnership. And it was hard for us to really put others in for that everything combined into that. So then we go on to left back. Again, this was definitely the easiest for us to choose on, wasn't it? Craig Forsyth.
Yeah. You can't pick anybody else.
Yeah.
A fantastic servant to Derby, still going. Forest, not had too many left backs previously that we could think of. And to be fair, mate, the first person we both said straight away was Forsyth. There was no argument.
That's it. For both Forest and Derby fans, you think back of some clashes that we've had, and there's certain names that always get mentioned. And when you think back to Derby teams, his name always gets mentioned because he's been there for, he's been at Derby for that long.
Yeah.
His name's always there on the team sheet, and he's played against Forest many a times.
Yeah.
Again, consistency, like you say, and the loyalty to Derby as well, with, us going down when we had all the troubles, come back up. And at his age now, still going in the Championship, doing his bit and playing. Yeah, it was by far the easiest decision. It's there's no left backs that have been more consistently good. Maybe some slightly better ability wise, possibly if you could argue players, but the level of consistency that Forsyth has showed is just unmatched by others between both clubs. So pretty easy decision, really.
It was, mate. Yeah. He's been there, he's done it, he's still doing it.
Yeah,
you can't pick anybody else.
That's it, 100%.
So we'll go into the midfield now. This one was a bit of a tough one in terms of picking a Forest player anyway. There's probably going to be a few that will disagree with this choice. Fair enough. We've gone with Ryan Yates. Now, the main reason behind this was with what he's achieved at Forest, i.e. the promotion. His heart's in the right place. He works hard. Is he the best footballer? I don't know. You probably agree with that. But for his work rate and what he achieved, I think we had to put him in there. It's a tough one to speak on him, really, because,
So, to give it context, we initially wanted to go for a 4-3-3. And then as we got further into the team, we realised that it was better to go for a 4-4-2 to fit in some of the players that we wanted in. So we were going for 3 midfielders initially, which, look, Derby fans, you'll agree, we've been quite stacked in midfield over the last, sort of 10 years or so. We've had some good midfielders in. So trying to keep it consistent of being a combined 11, I was very much arguing for us Derby fans of some of the midfielders that we've had. Obviously, I'm not going to mention all of the names, but you all know who I'm talking about. Obviously, we'll get to the other person in a minute, but yeah, combining it to Yates in terms of ability, for me, definitely not as good as what we've had across the Derby midfield. But if you're talking about legacy, he still plays in the Premier League now. It's not like he doesn't play for Forest at all. He still plays games in the Premier League, which shows he's still got that ability there. He's obviously more of a break up, get stuck in type of player. That's his forte. He's not technical, really. So he does his job. His job is get on there, rough him up, win the ball, move it on. That's his job. He does it well. He's passionate. He's proper Forest through and through. So, in terms of combining it all, maybe lesser on the ability, but legacy and passion, just when you're talking of both sides, that's why for he was the top pick out of the Forest squads that we were sort of debating on, who to include in this. So that's why Ryan Yates had to be in that midfield for the other side. The easier pick, I think, definitely Derby fans, but I think even for Forest fans themselves, for us, we've gone Craig Bryson.
No-brainer.
Easy pick, wasn't it?
Yeah, no-brainer. To be fair, he was the first person I said.
Yeah.
I didn't pick a Forest player first. I picked Craig Bryson. I think that says a lot. Great player, great servant to Derby. You'd want him in. You'd get into a championship team today. You'd want him in your team.
Yeah. Just
rough,
non-stop
ready.
Running.
Yeah.
That's it. He got stuck in, scored some goals. He just had everything as a midfielder. And obviously many, many great memories as a Derby fan with Bryson in our team. Obviously an absolute legend for us. And I think Forest fans yourselves, I think, Charlie, look, you've been a Forest fan all your life and you can appreciate players from Derby that are of a top draw. And yourself, you've watched many a games like myself, a Forest Derby, and there's certain names that stand out. And Bryson's one that stood out. Yeah. Obviously a good thing for Derby's point of view, but if we agree on players that are really up there for our teams, I don't think people can really argue, unless you're trolling, that Craig Bryson would walk into both sides.
Easily. Yeah, I've been with you to watch Derby play, and we've seen Bryson play in person, live. His football IQ is incredible.
100%.
He would easily walk into a championship team in his prime. He'd play in the Premier League in his prime, let's be honest.
It's a shame that he didn't get that chance. He was so loyal to Derby.
Yeah.
And we obviously got so close over many years. It is a shame that he didn't get a chance to prove himself in the Premier League, because I think that he could definitely do a job from 100%. How good he was. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're combining that, in a combined 11 for both, to have Craig Bryson in that team, you've got him to do all the running around, get forward a bit more, and then Yatesy to break play.
He'll break it up.
And yeah, it's a good midfield too that's in there, definitely.
Yeah, I'd say so, mate. So I'll go into the left wing because the right wing was a bit more difficult. I'll let Brad explain that one. Again, I think this was a fairly easy pick for us, wasn't it? Yeah. We've gone with Johnny Russell. I don't think you can argue with that. Scored some goals. Fantastic work rate. Yeah. Only small, but wow. He was rough, ready, got stuck in. His delivery into the box was incredible. If he played on the right, cut in, score you the goal. I really like Johnny Russell. I would always put him in my team. Yeah. It's a shame he didn't get to play properly in the Premier League. I think he would have been a good player, especially now. Yeah, I like Johnny Russell. I still like him to this day. And again, I've seen him live with you. He's incredible.
I agree, 100%. I think, take bias out of it, he's... Yeah, obviously, this is down to personal opinion as well. I think both of us, we just really liked him as a player because he was one that we was even sort of noticing when he was playing at Dundee United before he made his move to Derby County. You know what I mean? We saw him up there playing. So when he did move to Derby and we saw him, it was one that we were intrigued with. And then he's played in some of our best derby sides of recent times. He's a name that many people mention. When he was on form, he was just unplayable. So,
I mean, it was a bit of a shock when he left as well.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting him to. He went to the MLS, didn't he?
Yeah, MLS, yeah.
Derby could have got another 3 years out of him. He was
I
that
gutted.
good.
I was gutted when he left. Yeah, I've always rated him in the squad.
Yeah.
Pace, obviously, he would frustrate you at times. He definitely was a frustrating player, but yeah, overall his quality was just fantastic, and that's why he was a mainstay in our team. Yeah, and that's it. Whether, like you say, he played across the front. Whether he was playing right or left, he could cross a ball, could score a goal. So fantastic to play across. But we've stuck him on that side, and yeah, I think easy sort of decision for us to stick him in.
It was an easy pick.
Yeah, definitely the first choice for us in terms of wingers for the team anyway. The other side was a bit harder. Because we obviously we've got two strikers. And again, it was hard because we're trying to keep it consistent. So trying to combine it to keep it fair across it. We've gone for Brennan Johnson. Obviously coming through the academy at Forest, breaking into the first team, was a consistent player for Forest. Frustrating, I think.
He was,
Forest fans would agree, know, that he'd do some magic on the ball and his end product lacked. I think he's still similar to that now at Spurs. But look, played in some good Forest teams.
Yeah.
Did well and then earned his move to a bigger club, which also helped Forest out financially as well. So I think for what he did as a young lad coming through and progressing himself, you talk about ability and where he's gone, it's hard to argue with him being in that team, you know what I mean? Because we've got others that, I mean, for me, there's others that I maybe prefer as a player. Maybe I've got bias towards, but you can't knock Johnson going up, staying in the Premier League and then getting a bigger move. It's, you can't knock it.
No, it was, as Brad said, we were throwing some names around and there probably was more rounded players than Brennan Johnson, would you say? But I think we just went on what he achieved at Forest, and then we had a good year in the Premier League when they went up. Got his move, and that was sort of the reason we put him in. But as Brad said, there was other names there, probably better players that may have scored more goals,
more consistent, but
more
maybe
consistent. Yeah.
And some of the names we'll mention, maybe some of them more consistent at a championship level.
Yeah.
Years ago. But you can't argue. I mean, when Forest got promoted, one of the first names on the team sheet was Brennan Johnson.
Yeah. Because
he was the young lad with pace who can make things happen by taking players on. And everyone looked at him and said, if anyone's got the potential of, being a consistent Premier League player, it's Brennan Johnson. So you can't not put him in that opinion. You know what I mean? For where he is now, he's playing at Spurs in the Premier League. Been there for a couple of seasons, plays a lot of games. Can't really argue with what he's gone on and achieved in his career, and getting Forest promoted and stabilising them in the league.
Yeah,
that was trumps sort of the achievements of some of the other players, although maybe not as consistent, but for what he's done, that's why we've stuck him in. So Brennan Johnson on the other side.
There we go. As Brad said, we went for two strikers. Derby and Forest fans may already know who we're going to pick. I'll go with the Derby player first. We've gone Chrissy Martin. Again, I think it speaks for itself. Goal machine, aerial threat, strong, workhorse. If you need a goal, that's the man.
And
that's the man.
I think good at the dark arts as well.
Absolute shit
I think
house.
Many a Forest fan will say, he got some decisions against you boys when you was getting in and he'd chuck himself to the floor. Now, I know it's infuriating when that happens, but look, you can't argue. As a Forest fan, you probably hate him for what he was doing and also how good he was against you. But as a Derby fan, you love him because he was an absolute, like you say, absolute goal machine. Was a bit of an all-rounder as a striker. Would score heads, good with his feet. I mean, for me, watching Derby, I've watched many a striker at Derby, a lot of them that I've liked, but I think for his ability and consistency and the times that he played at Derby,
Yeah.
for me, I would have him
so.
back in a heartbeat. He is up there for me. He was just, gave me a lot of my best memories watching Derby, having Chrissy Martin up top. He was phenomenal for me. So I think it was definitely an easy pick for him being put in that squad, I think, definitely. And then the next one, probably quite tough in regards to this. There's a fit, and again, we'll do some. We've got our subs, but we'll also do some honourable mentions for other players as well. But we're trying to go on sort of if the players were in the prime, who would we like? Yeah, and who's obviously, but combining that with what they've also done for Forest. So I went for Lewis Grabban because I think if you talk of championship player, absolute goal machine at that level, in his pomp, any championship team would snap him up and have him in their team.
Yeah,
fact. And I think the fact of how good he was for Forest, that's we debated a few other names that you could maybe argue you could put in, and I maybe wouldn't disagree, but we're going on personal opinion of players that we quite liked, and Grabban was a goal machine everywhere he's been, and continued that at Forest. And you think combining Grabban and Chris Martin up top,
brilliant.
You're getting goals, aren't you?
You are, mate. And I think they're different styles. I'd say Grabban's probably more of a poacher.
Yeah.
Whereas Martin, your goals from Martin are coming from wherever.
Yeah, definitely.
And together, I think they probably play for each other perfectly. Hence the reason we stuck them in.
Yeah, that's it. 100%. And we've done some subs because again, some of these were some of the names which we debated about putting in, and again, maybe not necessarily for their ability. Some of these are personal preferences of players that we just really liked. Yeah. Maybe they're not the best in that position, but for what they offered to both clubs, there's some that we were just like, no, they're good. We have to put them in. So if you want to start us off on the first one,
we'll go for the goalkeeper. Sorry, got my words wrong there. We've gone Scott Carson. This goes back to again when I used to watch Derby with Brad. He was the goalkeeper, and he was brilliant. He was in this was probably the prime of his career.
Yeah.
When Derby were doing really well, and he was brilliant goalkeeper. We did initially think about putting him into the first team, didn't we?
Yeah.
But I think the only reason we picked Samba just because of the achievement of getting promoted and getting the move away. But Carson's had a great career.
Yeah.
But for Derby, probably one of the best goalkeepers you've had. Would you say?
I liked him. I mean, I know some maybe mixed opinions on Carson. I just personally liked Carson as a goalkeeper. I thought when he was on it for us, he made some big saves.
Yeah.
Prone to a clanger.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought he did make some good saves. I thought it was good for us. Good experience at the back as well. I just personally liked him. And I think you're the same, aren't you, mate?
I liked him, yeah.
There's certain players that you just like more than others. And again, after we've done the subs, we'll make some honourable mentions to players that we understand why people would mention them. But for us, Scott Carson was the other choice that we had. But he's our sub goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 2 attackers. Attackers being the winger and the striker. So you'll see when we say the players. So first centre back we've gone for is Wes Morgan. I think obviously was a mainstay for Forest in his years there, and then obviously when he left Forest, he's gone to Leicester and won the Premier League.
Yeah,
and was superb in that team. Was
He was.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, even you'd say he's got more of a legacy at Leicester because of playing consistent Premier League football and winning a title. But yeah, even at Forest, I have early memories of watching Forest and
Yeah.
Morgan being in that team. Big, strong, just a pain in the arse defender.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't think he would be good enough to do what he did at Leicester. He definitely really elevated himself to that next level. But as a throwback name, I think a lot of both Forest and Derby fans think of Wes Morgan was a name that popped up. So for us, we had to put him in.
Yeah. As Brad said, look, we threw a few names about. There is other Forest defenders. We won't mention them now, but Wes Morgan for me and Brad was the one we had to put in.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll move on to the next centre back now, Jake Buxton. Those who know Jake Buxton, geez, I think can you remember the picture of him? He was walking into training with his boots in a carrier bag, and that just that just sums him up perfectly. He was a solid defender, no nonsense, take no shit. I think that bloke had a brick, if I'm honest. Wouldn't he?
Definitely would.
Throw a brick at him, it's coming straight back at you. Solid. There's not. That is the perfect word to describe him. Solid, no nonsense, leader.
100%. Just, I think what you like about him, firstly, he's as common as muck. He's got a strong accent. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not. He's a common lad who's made it as a footballer. And like you say, he's not technical.
No.
He's not a passer. He is a old school, solid brick wall defender that would just nail you. Yeah. Again, quick, nimble strikers maybe he struggled against, but as a personality as well as being a brick wall, we've had a lot of memories of him. Just makes us laugh, like you say, with the boots and the carrier bag. It's just his personality along with how he was as a player just made him very likeable. And I think a lot of Derby fans will agree that, again, quality-wise, you'd argue we've had better players, but as a whole package of personality and the way he was just a player that me and Charlie both agreed we liked. So we said, we'll have him on the bench because I'd be quite happy for him to come on as sub in that team.
He's a perfect professional. Not bothered
100%.
about the money. He loved football.
Yeah, 100%.
And
yeah, great, funny guy. Yes, similar to the Buxton sort of one that we went for. Going into the midfielders now, so we've got two midfielders. This is a player. So we've gone for Chris Cohen. Again, had his injuries.
Yeah.
But was a decent player for Forest. Was passionate at Forest. A name is a throwback name for us. Yeah. Someone that's been there for so long. Like you say, a shame that he had a few big injuries, which did obviously rock his career. But when he did play, he was a good player. Yeah, loved to tackle, especially against Derby when he played. Was always passionate, always up for it. So when we were thinking of names that sort of we think of from probably the rivalry games, to be honest,
I think so. Yeah.
He's a name that came up because he'd always be outspoken about the game and would wind the Derby fans up, and the Forest fans would love it. So it's kind of that mixture of maybe not the best ability-wise. We could argue there's, especially for Derby, there's midfielders that are far better than Chrissy Cohen.
There was a lot.
Yeah, for us, when we was thinking of players to have, Chrissy Cohen as a throwback name was in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it, mate. Again, it was the legacy. Been at Forest for a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
Again, like Buxton, he was just a proper professional, not bothered about the money. Wanted to play football, worked hard. That's the reason why we benched him.
Yeah, that's it.
The next one now, arguably, this person should be in the first team. But to make it fair, we didn't put him in. It's Jeff Hendrick. What a great player. Played a hell of a lot of games for Derby.
Yeah.
A real solid player. Technically very good. Far better than Ryan Yates. Derby fans will definitely disagree with the Yates in this, but love Hendrick, mate. Again, when we've watched him in person live, he's just technically so good. His vision, his range of passing, and he could score goals.
Yeah.
He's an all-rounder. It's a shame he didn't get into the first team, but as we said, we had to sort of balance it out. Arguably, he should be in there, shouldn't he? Let's be honest. He should be. Yeah. He should be. We were going to put him in. If we were doing a 4-3-3, Jeff Hendrick was the man that was in. The only reason we took him out is because of the change of formation.
100%. Yeah. It's almost like we, you know, going back to when he was playing his best football at Derby, he, like you say, he was a mainstay in that midfield.
Yeah.
Really good. Obviously, it didn't really work out for him when he left Derby. Just couldn't get going. It was almost like Derby it just suited him the best. He obviously came over as a young lad, progressed into the first team, and the way we were playing, the system, the players around him, sometimes a club just suits you better than others.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he's played a lot of games in the Premier League and stuff, but, you know, obviously Derby was definitely where he played his best and most consistent football. And yeah, I think both Forest and Derby fans always remember Hendrick's name.
Yeah.
Obviously scored against Forest numerous times. Was always a good player against Forest when we played each other. And then in the wider, you know, championship, just solid, consistent,
great player.
Very, very good. Like you say, I would have my bias. The midfield would just be Derby players. When we were debating names, weren't we? If we was going just bias on better players, there's far more Derby midfielders over the last however long than there is Forest.
Yeah.
But, yeah, trying to combine the two, that's why we didn't want to leave him out. But as a sub, top draw. It'd be starting for me, but because we're combining,
that's it.
He's got to be benched.
Look, as you can see, we've obviously gone. We don't want to go too modern on the teams.
Yeah.
So, again, Hendrick, as you said, it's not worked out for him after he left Derby, but one hell of a player.
Yeah. 100%.
One hell of a player. And he was in the team, mate, wasn't he? But as I say, the only reason we took him out was to fit the two strikers in. Because we'd probably been going back and forth about the strikers now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. 110%.
Yeah. Right. We'll move on to strikers now, aren't we?
Yes.
I'll go with Chris Wood. For the obvious reason, his season, last season, goal machine. That's as much as I'm going to say on it. Will it happen again? Don't know. Last season, you'd stick him in. Strong, poacher. That's all I'm going to add on Chris Wood there, because I don't know, it's not too much more to say, is there really?
It is more. I think we obviously go for the older names because our throwbacks for our memories growing up are more towards these players. But if you're talking, modern day for what he's done for Forest, I mean, like you say, last season he was just unplayable, wasn't he? Fantastic. Goal machine, big, strong, used his body well, scored a hell of a lot of goals. Yeah, so for us, when we were thinking, you know, again, tough decision there are quite a few strikers that we like for both teams, but he's playing in the Premier League for Forest and scoring goals and doing what he's done, getting him European football. We can't not include him for doing that. So that's why Chrissy Wood, first name on the bench, is the striker.
Yeah.
And then the next one we've got as an attacking player. So we've gone for a winger who, again, was tough to leave this player out. And it's Jamie Ward.
He was a shit house, wasn't he? He was, but again, only small like Johnny Russell. But his work rate was just unimaginable. You get 90 minutes out of this player, and you could probably get another 90 out of him straight after.
Yeah.
And he chipped him with a few goals. For me, it was his work rate that really caught my eye. He was a great player. he went on and he played non-league after, I think, didn't he? And he was still a shithouse in non-league. So he's carried that the whole way with him, and I love that.
Just confident in himself, wasn't he? And his ability, I mean, at championship level, was, again, always seen as one of the better players out wide in the championship. Quick, nimble. I always remember the goal he scored against Forest, cutting it, ran from the wide players, took it on, megged your defender, bang, scored. Always a memorable goal. And yeah, it was tough to leave him out of that team because.
And we signed him.
And then he goes to Forest. Yeah. So he's one of them players that he's played for both clubs, understands what it means. And yeah, in terms of memories for us, he offered a lot of good memories, more so for Derby than Forest. But yeah, he's a name that, again, you think of when you think of, classic sort of Derby squads of playing the better football. So yeah, we wanted to stick him in. Because, throwback name that, again, a player that we just both really liked.
Him,
really. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Harry Arter. Fantastic servant to Forest.
Yeah. He also wanted to shout out Brendan Maloney. Great player.
Yeah, Jesus.
God. No, we had a few names that honourable mentions. So got to mention him because, again, player that played for both. Lee Camp.
Yeah.
Absolute.
He was very good.
Man.
Yeah,
soul of a man.
In his Forest days, he was fucking fantastic.
I always just remember when he was coming to Pride Park for you lot, and he always did his cocky walk to the goal, and obviously we were all shouting "Mama's boy" at him and stuff. But as a keeper, he was pretty good, especially for Forest. Was very, very good for Forest. So he's one that we had as an honourable mention, didn't he?
Yeah, we've got Curtis Davis. Yeah, the guy could still play now. Let's be honest.
Yeah, was very, very good for us. Very, very good.
Yeah, I liked him. He was solid again. Big, strong, great professional.
Yeah,
knows the game very well. Honourable mention.
Yeah, 100%. Will Hughes.
Oh, Hughesy.
Another tough one for us to leave out in that midfield, and even on the bench. Again, for me, having the Derby bias of the midfield, he was one of the first names that I was mentioning. But yeah, fantastic player for Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he hates Forest. Forest hate him. I like Will Hughes. Great player.
Yeah.
And
still doing it in the Premier League now.
Loves playing against Forest. Hates him.
Loved it.
Hates him.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And you see him now. He's playing consistently for Crystal Palace. One of their better players. Underrated. But yeah, he was definitely one that was tough to leave out of that.
He was, yeah.
One of them frustrating one to leave out. But yeah, we had to give him an honourable mention because he easily could walk into that.
Yeah. I think we both want to shout out a manager as well, don't we? For me personally, Steve Cooper. You can't not mention him. What he did at Forest was unbelievable. That man he's a legend at Forest. He always will be. He'd always be welcome back at Forest. Yeah. What he did for them was magnificent, and he changed the club.
I think, when we were talking about the manager, he was one of the names where I said I wouldn't argue with him being the choice for the manager on that, because what he did for Forest, took them to the next level. Really, really good. Absolute legend for Forest. So, obviously, like you say, we went for Billy Davis because of the connection to both clubs and did well at both clubs all them years ago.
Yeah.
And that's why we thought it was fitting for this to go for Billy Davis. But yeah, Steve Cooper as a manager up there, fantastic for what he did. The same as, for Derby, you can shout out McLaren as much as he was a shithouse for leaving us for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Before that, we played some really, really good attacking football under him.
Yeah.
We'd concede goals, but we'd outscore the opposition. It was fun to watch, frustrating at times, but we had a good team, good attacking football. I personally really enjoyed it. So again, shout out McLaren.
It was one of them again when we both put these names out. We were like, if we put him in, sound. We're not going to argue with it.
That's it.
What he did at Derby was again brilliant. The team he crafted was exceptional.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, if we were being biased towards Derby, you could probably have all of this team as a Derby team. Let's be honest. They were that good under McLaren.
A hell of a lot of players. It's so tough to go through for both teams. Really, there's so many when you look back at other players, that have played for both. I mean, Andy Reid, another one we have to shout out.
Yeah.
For Forest, as we said, he's not going to get the ball and run past a load of players.
No,
the ball at his feet. He's got an absolute wand of a left foot. Just
brilliant.
Had quality with the ball at his feet, made things happen, and so again, is another one that we mentioned in that. But yeah, there's a hell of a lot.
There is, mate.
Look, between Forest and Derby fans, you've got to get in the comments for this and let us know, like, for you, who would you be including in your squads, and what players do you think back of through the time of you watching that you'd really enjoyed, so personal favourite, whether it's ability or not.
Yeah.
Because for us, we have to go on players that we've seen, watch, and know a bit more.
Yeah.
We obviously know there's famous Forest and Derby sides from before we were really watching football, so we can't include players that are just before our time.
People are going to be coming in now saying, about Elliot Anderson and that, but we don't want it to be that. We don't want to base it off that. We want to base it off like previous teams. Look, we have put Wood in. Okay, fair enough, but
pure raw ability.
We didn't want to.
You'd argue that this modern Forest side, ability-wise, the players are fantastic. There's probably no argument that most of them players are better than players that we're mentioning because they're playing Premier League football.
Yeah, we didn't want to do that, did we? We didn't want to go down that route.
Most combined ones would think back to these sorts of names and go, the Championship sides are probably more where people our age really have the memories of players for 100%, both sides.
100%.
Especially with us playing each other in the Championship. Unfortunately, when you've obviously gone up, we're losing that rivalry, so it's hard to really mention it modern day, whereas a lot of our memories are from the games that we played each other, which is why a lot of these names get mentioned. But I'll just run through the team just so you can hear it out. So for the manager for our combined Forest Derby 11 in a 4-4-2 formation, we've gone for Billy Davis as the manager. We've gone for Samba in goal. From right to left in defence, we've gone Cyrus Christie, Joe Worrell, Richard Keogh, Craig Forsyth. The two centre mids, we've gone for Craig Bryson and Ryan Yates. The two wide players, we've gone for Brennan Johnson and Johnny Russell. And up the top, we've gone for Lewis Graben and Chris Martin. That's our starting 11 and manager for our combined Forest Derby 11.
Yeah. If that team was in their prime now, they'd walk the Championship.
I'd be more than happy with that squad, to be honest. More than happy.
Yeah.
But look, Forest Derby fans and others, let us know in the comments, is the players that you disagree with, who would you include and swap out, and let us know some of your memorable players where you've got, some good memories of, or just who you personally like. Let us know, and let's talk about it. But this has been our little special for our Forest Derby combined 11.
Something different. Yeah, I've enjoyed this one, mate, to be fair.
Oh, definitely. It's one that we like to do. So, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.